I return. And we are chilling. We've got these. Ural, I should probably cast my screen if you want to cast off me. Are you in this lobby?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If you look at my thing, you'll see what I'm actually casting now. I forgot to actually put you into the thing, but here we go, boys. We got Team Australia versus Team America. And Australia is Snoopa Stardom, a Master Bell fan, Snade, and Sock Thief, who I actually don't know. And then we got LDM, Zekris, MBT, Goopy, Austin, and Barcast, which are both really strong teams, let's be real.
Yeah, I'd say that both of these teams have like a shot at winning the whole thing. They're both looking quite strong, quite stacked rosters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, can Snoopa not play? I feel like if Snoopa was here, it'd be a little bit more terrifying. But yeah, I mean, either of these teams can go super deep and or win it.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. I don't see Snoopa in the lobby right now, but I mean, even without him, I'd say that there's a lot of these lower OS guys on the Australian team are actually quite experienced, quite long-time players, where like their rating can be a little bit deceiving. Like both Snade and Fan I've played with a bit, and they're quite strong players where they're and team players as well, which sort of is going to shine in this sort of format.
Yeah, I mean, they're both like, I remember Fan was like 30 OS when I started playing, and he was, you know, he hasn't played like very much in like the past, I guess like the past year or so, past 6 months, but I remember him being strong, so I think it definitely will be good.
And Snade as well, I've seen, is just quite a versatile player, and I've seen him as high as mid-40s OS in the past. He's just not been as active and just come back to the game recently, sort of post the reset to OS, so he's a little bit undervalued right now as well, I'd say.
Word. Yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting. And let's see, what are we waiting on? All right. Sorry, this is a private game.
I feel like we've been talking about the Australian team enough that the Americans here also absolutely insane roster. We've got Austin, who's sitting at the top of the ladder most of the time. We've got Goopy, who's a legend in 1v1 and just an all-around super good, super aggressive player. Zekris, he's responsible for a lot of the balance in the game, and he's just also been like a long-time member of the community and experienced player. And Lost Dead Man's here too. He might make some shurikens or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what is he really gonna do? Who knows? I mean, it's LDM, like, you know, whatevs. No, fair enough. Also, if you're watching my stream, because I'm casting this, there won't be the sound redeems on, so don't redeem them and you won't get anything. Sorry.
But what if I want to waste my points for fun?
I mean, all right, if you want to waste your points for literally nothing, go ahead.
I love wasting my points.
You don't want Baron screaming Janus in the middle of your YouTube video?
I don't think that's super prepared now. Or along with everything that Baron spams in LDM's channel. No, I'm not excited for it. Oh wait, no, Ural's casting with me. Hold on.
Yeah, I think I got booted from the lobby because they don't want specs for.
Yeah.
I think they just didn't know I was gonna be casting.
Yeah, well, hold on. I guess we'll see. Let me see if I can unlock it and then get you back in. Who's Supreme FFA Enjoyer? What?
It's Azurkai or you. I don't know how to say his name exactly, but he's a Straits player.
Oh, okay.
Free Hurry Azure is his most recent name.
Yeah, that I literally don't think I've ever played a game with that guy.
What did he do this time?
Nothing. He was telling me his name, and I don't know who that is at all. All right, he's unlocked, so Ural hop in.
Yep.
All right, cool. We ready? Also, chat, just a reminder, I can't interact with you. I'm sorry. I love you, but I have to have a delay, so it's all good. All right, are we ready? We just need to wait. What are map bans?
So the way the map bans work is there's a pool of 3 maps through the round, and then each team will veto a map that they don't want to play first, but we have to play all 3 of the maps, and if it goes to 3 games either way. So it's not really so much a ban, so much as a yuck, I don't want to play that one first.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So here we go. We will see. Yeah, also, so originally the thing that you see here was supposed to be like
For anyone who doesn't know, the map pool for this round is Fulsome Dam, Shallow Straits, and Stronghold. Dude. Are the 3 maps.
Sometimes I feel like Tenebos just trolls us, doesn't he? I don't know.
I kind of get where he's coming from. He kind of wants to have teams display like flexibility and adaptability to, shall we say, different maps, potentially underplayed maps, potentially not played for a reason maps.
What is it? Shallow Straits, Fulsome Dam, and what's the last one? Oh,
Stronghold, which is, in my opinion, kind of best played as a 4-team free-for-all map because it's rotationally symmetrical and kind of has 4 quadrants.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I don't know. I like it in 8s too. I think it's if it didn't like flashbang you every time you played it, I think it'd actually be like a legitimately good map. But yeah. All right, we need AU to figure out their bans.
Yeah, we're waiting on that real quick. I'm gonna drop the bracket in the chat.
Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you guys.
Several minutes from now when the delay, but
yeah, well,
we got time, so I may as well.
Yep. Let's see what they want to. Oh, give us a minute, lol.
I think out of the teams in this round, in the round 2 qualifiers, I think these are 2 very strong teams. A lot of people slot this US team as one of the favorites for the tournament, but as we were talking about earlier, this Australian team is also quite strong, so we're gonna have a really good match on our hands, and one of these teams won't make it to the final event.
I know, which is a little sad. I almost wish it was like double a limb, but then it'd take so much more. But yeah, I mean, I've got high hopes for our US team, but I will also say that Goopy and LDM have been up for a very long time, along with myself, although Stardom played as well. So 3 of the players in this lobby have been playing bar or specking bar for like 16 hours today. So we'll see if their skills and their mental fortitude can actually hold up, because that's a little rough, let's be real.
Yeah, it was a really amazing tournament though. Such a stacked roster of players playing in the 1v1 tournament earlier today.
Yeah.
For anyone that's not aware, that happened. It was amazing. Some really crazy games that I saw, and I didn't even watch the whole thing. I can't imagine you and LDM having cast that for 10 plus hours.
Yeah, it was an adventure. But hey, you know, I think it was good. we finished it. We were both real happy that we finished it at the end of it all, but you know, that's how she goes. So yeah.
And it looks like we've got a start coming up here, so no more stalling. We're gonna get into the game.
Oh, here we go, boys. Here we go. Siegel is asking if they can veto all the maps.
I wish, Siegel. That sounds like the play. It looks like we're going into Stronghold for our first map here.
Yep. If you guys have any sort of light sensitivity, I'd recommend you put on some sunglasses because you're about to get flashbanged.
This map does have some of the textures of all time, I will say.
You're not wrong. All right, so let's see. Let's look at some spawns here. Do you feel like you play this just 4 front, or do you think you play it 3 front and then 1 air and back? It looks like Australia spawns are going to have Snade and back as air.
I think just because of the terrain and because of the size of the map, are both things that are going to incentivize transport play. But you can also make an argument for having 4 people making grunts right away, because this map also has quite a significant amount of reclaim around the middle, all the rocks. So, and there's also, 8 viable spawn positions in the start box here, and then even more if you want to start on 1 mechs or kind of get a positional advantage that way. So there's going to be a bit of variety. See if these teams spawn symmetrically or not.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've got what's that? Yeah, I mean, LDM's in back. Looks like LDM has really taken on his love of the air roll if he's gonna spawn in back, but I guess we'll see. And then Austin in purple on the left, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So I think these will be mirrored spawns. Yeah.
Okay, so we do have the mirrored spawns here. I think that the way that these teams have spawned with Snade and LDM placed the way they are, it's not completely unfeasible for them to just throw down a bot lab and make 100 grunts, right? Like, that's totally something that could happen here. Oftentimes I've seen people spawn, like, behind Zekris or behind Austin, like, kind of just behind another player to sort of secure their base, and then have, like, the other players spread themselves a little bit thinner.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I guess we'll see how this plays out. I think that I'm so used to this map in 8s that it's kind of weird for me to see it in 4s, but there is a ton of expansion room here. So I almost feel like you want these people in front to just like start expanding forward as much as possible to try to hold those chokes.
Yeah, absolutely. The terrain being the way that it is, the map feels really big, but then as soon as you start closing off these choke points the map has, it's gonna start. It can bog down. Now it takes a bit to sort of secure the map just because of the size, but the map's not fully open. There's all these craters and cliffs and stuff like that that make the map like not quite as open as something like flats and forests, or say.
Austin leaking the strats of we need to tilt Master Bell, but no, I agree with you. What you're saying. All right, so let's see. Stardom is core. I'm curious what these labs are, right?
I think this map is going to be a very heavy. This is going to be a very heavy bot lab map. We've got a really high wind on Stronghold, an average of 13, and there's also a lot of reclaim, both energy and metal, on this map, sort of scattered all over the place. So I see a lot of bot opens on this map. I'd expect to see probably 3 bot labs per team, maybe 4.
All right, so Master Bell is going to open core air. Stardom is opening core bots. Snade is chilling. Oh, he's battering. Arm wind to battery, and then Fan is core bots as well. We got up here Zekris arm bots like a champion. Goopy arm bots. Okay, LDM arm bots, and Austin core bots. At least they've got 1 core so they can tech swap.
Yeah, I think it's good to have at least one of each faction on your team.
Oh shit, are widgets on?
Looks like we might have a quick rematch here, because in a tournament game we do want to have a clean vanilla version of the game, because some widgets are
little
bit
OP.
advantageous.
Yeah, a little OP. So give us 1 sec, boys. We're gonna remake.
There definitely
and then get
are
back into
some
it.
widgets in this game. There's one that, when I think of widgets, there's one that immediately comes to mind that's sort of become a little bit of a meme at late. I won't really call it out specifically by name, but maybe some of the more astute viewers might know the one that I'm talking about.
I mean, is that really performance enhancing though?
I mean, probably best to just disable it either way.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. There we go. Disallowing custom widgets.
It's probably for the best that they do turn that off, just to make sure that we have a clean game. There's no need for any drama, just, per the rules of the tournament. And they didn't get too far into the game. I'm assuming that we'll be getting right back into the same swing of things.
Yep, I'm assuming same spawns. Or what if this is big brain and Australia actually just wanted to know where Team USA spawned and their labs? Whew, that's big brain. Actually, has it been 5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have, what is your delay
I
looking
think it's
like
5
here,
minutes, so probably not happening, unfortunately. Never mind. They couldn't cheat if they wanted to, but it would have been a good attempt.
Darn.
All right, everyone's in, and can we force start this bad boy? 1-0. All right, let's get going. My iPad doesn't like this map. Yes, if you've never played with Austin before, Austin's computer sometimes can be a little slow.
Well, he's as he's named himself in the past, he's a disciple of Zhao, so it only really makes sense to
That's true.
be playing on that potato.
Yeah, to struggle with load times. All right, so let's see if they do. It looks like, yeah, these are all the same opens, right? Zekris, arm bot open. Goopy looks like arm bot open. LDM, arm bot open. And then Austin, arm or core bot open.
And Bell throwing down that air lab again. Something I wanted to say, looking at this previously, is that usually you'd expect the guy kind of further at the back of the map to open with the air lab, but I actually kind of like this because Master Bell's spawn is 2 mechs instead of 3 mechs. He's got the Geo, but he's less mexes. But if you're starting with an air lab, you're much more reliant on energy over metal, right? So it kind of makes sense for the 2 mechs guy to be the one with the air lab. So I think that's actually quite a smart placement that like really wouldn't have occurred to me personally. Like,
yeah, I like it. And he's gonna get the scout out.
yeah, good to get that information quickly as possible. You'll be able to figure out like what labs the enemy has and where they are.
So let's see, he sees Austin. I don't know, are they gonna drop any AA for this?
I mean, I don't think you'd,
Yeah, it's just gonna happen regardless.
even if you know, maybe you could have, if Goopy had dropped a nettle, he could have prevented it from seeing Zekris, but realistically, there's going to be somebody somewhere on that side of the map, and they're probably making, you know, ground units, so it wouldn't even deny really that much relevant information, so I'd say it's probably not worth it. Just get your windmills going and start playing the game.
Yeah, and Goopy sneaks a tick into the back here of Snade's base. Snade's dropping the LLT, but Goopy actually gets 1 max.
He's probably going to get more, too, because Tick's known for being a little bit speedy.
Oh, Master Bell comes in with the Shuri, shuts it down. He's like, yep, nope.
And it's a good unit, I'm told.
Oh, yeah, there is a ton of aggression from Team USA. I mean, LDM has ticks in Master Bell's base and is kind of picking them apart now, and then Austin is just throwing pawns into stardom.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is sort of the MO of the 4 bot lab opener, is just everyone's going to make units, everyone's going to send them across the map, and they're going to fight tooth and nail for that reclaim, because they, you know, they're kind of on a clock with the air lab, because the transports are going to let them skip so much walking time. So getting this aggression off is going to sort of offset the advantage that they might gain from the air start.
Yeah, I mean, it actually, I think, is working out really, really well, right? Because Master Bell had to burn so much time that could have been BP, like that BP was going into repairing, into, you know, like building the mexes that were killed, into trying to kill like the ticks and stuff. And so his whole build is super, super delayed, not even because things died, but just because his comm, like he couldn't use his BP. Oh, but Snade comes up here. All right, all right.
Yeah, this is a really critical position that Snade is taking here. This terrain is really defensible on this side for Team Australia, just due to the cliffs and the ramps. So getting up here, he's going to get himself situated. It's going to be a lot harder for Team USA to dig him out once he's up there.
Yeah, the right cliff on that side is one of the most painful things ever if you're trying to put vehicles up it. It's literally like Dragoons in Brood War.
Oh yeah, it's pretty difficult. The map being rotationally symmetrical, Austin is going to kind of have relatively easy access to this high ground, and he's even actually pushed a little bit further past it. So that's going to be...
Master Bell with the Shuris coming in, though. That's actually brutal because they locked down enough grunts that Austin had, you know, like just lost them, and then LDM's trying to punish with him. Can they just 1v2 start him and win this? I feel like they need AAK bots in here, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be, maybe you could push forward, leak around a little bit, but when there's these shurikens in play, you really do need to bring those anti-air bots to the front to be able to get anything done. And Lost Edmund has brought one to the front, but it's not all the way up there. Stardom getting dove by some pawns here, dropping pretty low on HP.
Does he go? Oh my god, he does go down here.
It looks like he didn't quite have enough energy to sort of rapid fire off the D-guns like you would want to in that situation, and maybe it was a little bit of a core D-gun moment as well.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I've realized playing against more arm bot like players is pawns, because I'm so used to fighting grunts. Pawns do so much damage that sometimes I'm not used to just like their burst damage, and I treat them as grunts. Oh, who goes down there? Fan goes down.
Not sure how he went down there. Was he in a transport, or was that just the Centurion walking him down?
I mean, he degunned a lot of stuff, so something. I think it was ground based, whatever it was, but I'm not sure. Austin gets. Oh, Austin's trying to secure Stardom's wreck there.
So I think this is kind of the risk of the opening that Team Australia went for, right? Is because Snade's gone for the transport and the battery open, and Masterbell went for the air open, whereas all the American team just opened bot labs and clicked on the unit button. So foregoing that sort of technical opener and just walking forward with units, and it's really paying off for them here.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that, like, Zekros' Centurion down here is doing absolute work, and if he can repair it, I mean, yeah, like you said, they're just throwing units in. I feel like the Shuris needed to have more impact, but kind of the delay from Goopy with the ticks and all the harassment just slowed him down. And then Snade doesn't even have a lab, does he? Anymore? Like,
he's got a lab at his forward position. He's got some constructors walking around in the back, which, in a vacuum, conceptually, I like. But in this game state, I think it's going to be really difficult for Snade to be able to influence the game, because Zekros is kind of walking forward here, and it's going to cut Snade off from his team. I'm not sure if he even has a transport anymore, so it'll be quite difficult for him to get help or help his team in this position.
Although Zek does need more units reinforcing. But yeah, Team USA is overflowing metal like no one's business. It looks like they're Giga E-starved minus Zek. Oh, does Zek's comm go down here though?
Yeah, it does look like a little bit of an overextension from Zekros here. I mean, he's got some energy for D-guns, but I don't know if there would have been enough D-guns to be able to stop that.
Yeah.
Not with the thugs in play.
Snade dropping Centurions to fight back Centurions, but yeah, this is 2v3 on this left side. It's basically Master Bell and Stardom versus Austin, Goopy, and LDM. And Austin with the incredibly forward vehicle lab. Let's hope that doesn't get degunned.
Well, there's only 2 comms left on Team Australia, and Snade's comm is kind of out there in Narnia, a little bit stranded. So if Master Bell were to walk forward and go for that degun, it would be relatively trivial for Team USA to shift all their forces and lock Snade down on the top of that hill.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little scary, and Brutes are starting to come out now. He's just gonna dive the thugs with a ton of grunts, and he's got a pretty good concave, doesn't he? I think he does. He clean all this up? Yeah.
Once the flanking damage is coming in here for these grunts, and it's just sort of a matter of, yeah, thugs may be better than grunts, but there's more grunts than thugs. More stuff, better than less stuff.
Goopy is just running pawns through all of Fan's base. He's lost all of his, not all of his energy, but tons of his E. Master Bell's comm goes down, and it looks like America is #1 at the moment here, boys.
I mean, they say it's not over until the fat lady sings, but this game is not looking like it's going very well for Team Australia. I think they had a solid plan, a solid opener, but they just weren't ready for the all-out raw aggression of our American heroes here.
That's right. Snade's flying back now. Yeah, I mean, this feels borderline unrecoverable, but just look at this metal diff.
Yeah, no, I'd say that with the amount of map control, the amount of units, and just the sheer production of Team USA, it's sort of pretty much all over except for, maybe a little bit of the crying and a little bit of hunting down Snade's commander.
Yeah, and we've got the scent push that's gonna clean up Zekros' lab. That's a little scary, right? Because he can just eat all of this and then just turn it into units, and whew. this eco difference is all but over. I mean, they have to know it's over, right? Do you think they're just talking about the next map or talking about like what they need to do different?
Yeah, I'd say that there's no reason for them to, as much as the game is pretty much over and they're not going to win it, there's no reason to resign. You may as well, like, talk about some strategy, figure out what you're going to do on the next map, or maybe analyze some of this stuff. And, maybe there's that 1% chance with, some sort of perfect miracle play where, the commanders for Team USA blow up all their own armies on an LLT, or
I think
or not, and they resign.
I think they realized how dire the situation is, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was kind of reached for all the straws, coping at the non-resign there, but
yeah, that's right. Here, hold on, let me go back and we can look. Yeah, I mean, just look at that eco difference. That is absolutely brutal, right? They did so much there.
Well, I think that the 4 bot lab opener allowed them to just get majority control of the reclaim, and that let them invest into more economy, more units, more map control, and it's just sort of a snowball effect from there. That's sort of the main point I have against heavy reclaim maps, is just the amount of snowball effect that can happen off of that early reclaim.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little bit brutal. Also, thank you, Fluff, for the raid. Sorry. And all right, we're going into Shallow Straits, which is one of the weirdest maps, I think, in this entire pool, just because for what it allows you to do. We saw it played on the 1v1 tournament earlier today, and it's hilarious, right? There's like all sorts of different openings for it. We saw hovers, we saw bombers, we saw navy, we saw hilarious underwater comm walks to D-Gun labs. So I'm excited to see how it plays out in 4s. This is definitely going to be a little bit of an adventure here.
Yeah, this is one of the maps where I honestly, you could see any of the labs in the game, and it would make sense to do. One major feature of this map is just because it is so small, and because the rush distance is so small because of the gigantic boxes, you see a lot of comm walking. You see a lot of shenanigans with commanders on this map, and with 4 players on a team and not a lot of mexes between them, I think we're going to see some relatively silly gameplay involving multiple commanders walking into silly places, and D-guns coming out, forward labs. This map is just prime for shenanigans. Really.
No, it is. And there's some interesting spawn diffs here, right? Like Fan is going to spawn in the back corner, but Team USA has like the triple forward spawn, and it looks like Zach is just on the very corner here, just going to comm walk and try to either shut down that choke or maybe just contest the mexes early.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I think the way that Team Australia is positioned, it looks like they're going to share a lab potentially between Snardom and Snade. But it's definitely, yeah, all of these positions are viable spawns, I think. So it'll be interesting to see the difference, how the teams want to play it.
Yeah, and I mean, do Masterbell and Austin both just go Navy? Because that's, I mean, Austin's saying, hey, I spam frigs. LDM might caution him on this, though. This map, some of the cliffs are way higher than you think they are with the water, and frigates actually struggle a bit to like shoot up and into them. It is super, super weird.
Yeah, it's sort of, I'm not much of an expert on Navy myself, but I think that destroyers fare better against land units, and frigates fare better against other naval units, but sort of it depends, because in a choke point, there's only so many destroyers, or sorry, only so many frigates that can fire at once, whereas the destroyers get to leverage their range. And like you were saying, Zekris is just going for a walk off the rip here.
Yeah, this is prime right here. What can you say other than what an absolute Chad?
Yeah, I mean, Lost Dead Man also going mech solar into walk forward build, so...
Yeah, I mean, these are great.
For Team USA, there's not really a lot of energy buildings getting built, so, once their labs start coming up, it might be a little bit difficult for them to produce units.
Well, but I think if they hold all the mexes, right, they can just like you just drop B solars and then start spamming. My
Yeah, for
concern
sure.
is I feel like it's going to be hard for LDM to like hold very many of the mexes here if Bell just opens like Destroyer Herring, right? Like, unfortunately, the sad truth is that T1C just absolutely crushes T1 ground. So,
Yeah, it's a little rough.
but yeah, you were right there. So they did a boosted lab from Star, Armbot lab, which is a little interesting. Master Bell is Core C, Austin is Core C, Goopy, Armbots, and LDM and Zekris, they're too good for units. They want to play a MOBA, and that's respectable, right? Why make mini units when few units will do? And you just have to, you know, you have to acknowledge that.
Interesting. Stardom here just going straight into Rocket Boss right away.
Wow. Yeah, what?
I mean, I think it makes sense, right? Because we got 4 commanders on a tiny map. I think we're going to see a lot of LLTs and not a lot of units because we can't really afford that many units. So just going into Rocket Boss kind of makes sense. You can cover them with the commander and with the LLTs.
And I mean, he's beamer creeping too, right? He's not, his first tower isn't even an LLT, it's a beamer.
Yeah. That beamer is going to be pretty much impossible for Zekris to deal with just his commander. Especially given that there's not a lot of E here for Team US.
Yeah, LDM is spamming a bunch and giving it to Zach, but I feel like Zach is here just buying time, right? But even with that, I feel like USA should have a little bit of a bigger mech lead. I think they need to cap these back mexes, and then we'll actually see that advantage start to kick off a bit more. The problem is Bell is going to start walking at LDM, and unless there's like LLTs, like a bunch of LLTs in place to stop it, I don't think he can really fight it too well.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for sure.
Oh no.
Especially once the ships from Master Bell come out, there's not really a lot that you can do with just land units. And Zekris is just getting forced out here by the beamer creep from Snade.
Yeah, but I mean, his frigates cut off the support, right? Oh,
well, the beamer actually has comparable range, actually exactly the same range as the destroyer. Or sorry, as the frigate, not as a destroyer. Not a lot of things have as much range as a destroyer, but the frigates and the beamers, it's actually interesting that the beamer can just have the same range as a frigate and zone it out like that. Because yeah, you're saying that cutting the rally with the ships is going to be really strong, but it looks like they've kind of stopped that with this beamer placement.
Yeah, and I mean, both these C players opening the exact same, right? Triple frigate into destroyer. Oh wait, no, I lied. Master Bell didn't go destroyer. He's still frigate spamming. Austin has his first destroyer out though.
And that destroyer is going to go huge here with these heavy investment into these beamers.
Yeah, that is actually going to be massive, but we might see the first naval engagement where Master Bell's going to try to cut off the rally for Team USA, and then Austin's going to have to fight him back. I almost want Austin just to give Zach like a single destroyer just so he can play this side of the map and chip away.
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing to do for sure, because as a C player, you really don't want to have to micro ships on 2 different fronts at once. It's definitely advantageous to share, 1 or 2 ships to other players that maybe have a little bit less to play with so that they are able to defend themselves.
All right, and here come the rocket bots starting to push back Goopy's rocket bots. LDM has an LLT, but that's just going to get alpha. Oh wait, is that a... Oh, never mind. He's got a Dragon's Claw. All right, GG. Nice push.
Yeah, you can just AFK behind that for 20 minutes and make an APHIS or something. It's totally fine.
Yep, no problems here. All right. Oh, but Bell's walking at it. What? Is he going to try to comwalk LDM?
Bell's walking in with the steel chair.
Austin's starting to bully Bell off the southern sea, though.
Yeah, and he's got this destroyer, so he's able to sort of chip away from range a little bit.
The metal income is relatively close, but the energy income is a little bit concerning, right? I feel like Team Australia is much, much higher than Team US right now. And Bell is just going to trade with LDM. Why did LDM let him hug him?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think LDM had to opt into that trade, but I mean, Goopy's comm is here.
Yeah, that's
Stardom
true.
also walking in.
Stardom's just gonna degun this claw, isn't he?
I'd assume he would, yeah. He's gonna take a bit of damage for it, but I don't think it's enough to justify.
Yeah.
Because the difference in openings, where Snade's commander kind of hung out and actually helped a bit. There's just so many more rocket bots here for Australia. And we even got some shell shockers coming in here from Fan from the back line.
Wow, that is not something you see every day, but I mean, it makes sense, right? If this is going to be kind of like a bit of a pork fest. Originally, they saw the D-Claw, so he probably dropped them, so he can be like, well, can I snipe nanos or something else? But USA is totally on the back foot. I feel like Australia is absolutely pushing. Goopy deguns those wrecks so they don't fall into the enemy, which is nice.
It doesn't really put USA ahead, it just puts them less behind, right? Like, he's not really...
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough you want to deny that to the enemy, but this isn't really going too well for Team USA.
Yeah, I don't see
Fan
any
now
other...
boosting out ships for Master Bell here as well, just using his commander's build power to get those ships churning out.
So is Goopy going to try to comm trade here? LDM has a single destroyer. He's moved from microing a destroyer to, or microing his commander to microing 2 destroyers.
So we've gone from MOBA to MOBA.
And Zach is still comm walking. Where is this man going? Can he walk up? No, he can't walk up there. Okay. It's like he can't walk up there, can he?
It looks a little bit too steep, no, but he might be able to just go for a little bit of a walk in the Australian backline here.
I think that's what his plan is, right? He's just going to run up and then try to sneak through. And Fan's dropping an air lab. Zach might get there in time to actually kind of deny it. But the southern naval battle and then this mid battle are both definitely pretty close. Goopy is absolutely spamming rocket bots, and his comm has just been dodging back and forth this whole time. I mean, they won this early fight, and then Goopy just stalled for like 45 seconds, literally just running his commander in circles.
Dodgeball champion USA, for real.
Uh-oh. Snade sees Zach, and he's gonna walk him. This is a little scary though, right? Oh wait, did they res a comm? Is it really 3-3?
I mean, it's just LDM and Bell that have gone down. Every other comm that's seen action has just run away. And Zekris is just kind of comm walking in there, showing us, you know, exactly how fun comm update is, just walking into the base.
Yeah, do you feel like it's better if he goes here? Fan and Snade are gonna cut him off, right? Oh, actually, Snade's backing up, and LDM's going to take that destroyer on the other side, but this naval chip battle is still happening down here.
Yeah, we've got the Resurrection sub coming in here for Master Bell, and one feature of this map is that the shallow fjords where the land units can cross is actually not traversable for subs. So even if Austin wanted to use a res sub here, he wouldn't be able to.
Oh, and he goes down.
Yeah, so it looks like we got the trade. Fan's gone down as well, but that medal is solidly in the Australian corner of the map.
I mean, he took a ton of E-gen with it, though, right? Like, that explosion basically equalized E-production for the 2 teams. Granted, it's going to swing horribly back once they get the 2,500 medal from 2 comms. But Goopy took back mid. I mean, he is the T1 bot master, and his rocket bots are pushing.
Speaking of Goopy, he might take that 2,500 medal back, too. Yeah, maybe not all of it, but, I mean, I don't know what's stopping him at this point.
Actually, it's kind of scary, right? Because he can degun Master Bell's lab, too, if he makes it.
This could be huge. And we still got Austin's commander relatively safe in the backline here, so...
Yeah,
you know, it's...
They do need to be careful, though, because Fan is... Well, they're armed bombers, but they're still bombers, right? So, one team each...
I feel like if a commander were to die to armed bombers, it'd be a little bit special circumstance.
Zach is recovering a bunch of Goopy's rack. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, and the line is drawn. They're like, Snade, you need to do the same thing. You need to go comm walk.
Yeah.
Ooh, Master Bell is pushing Austin and Zach off bot, though, and this is a little scary because he has the res subs behind and they don't.
Yeah. Well, they literally can't. The terrain does not allow for the res subs for the other team here, so it's kind of crazy.
Ooh, I didn't even realize how rough that makes it to fight into this.
Yeah, I think that with the snowball of the res subs, it's gonna go heavily in favor of Team Australia here.
Yeah, I mean, they just res this 5K medal. They just res that entire 5K, don't they?
So we've got an air lab here for Goopy, and he is making a unit of all time.
Oh god, they see it now and they're pinging, but Snade gets this, doesn't he? Oh, Destroyer, does he get de... Oh, he can't get degun. They are too far in, maybe? I think
So
he still gets
Snade's
the
gonna...
Oh, Banshees! Yo, what?
Snade
Goopster.
will go down here pretty fast, actually, to these Banshees and Destroyers. So he does take out a little bit of the economy, but not quite the damage they were looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, Fan is bombing, but they should be able to just pop some fighters out relatively soon and then kill these. But Team USA did lose a lot of E production from that.
We've got the Navy from Master Bell here knocking on the door, though.
Yeah.
Once these Destroyers get into the base here, it's going to be pretty rough.
The one bonus side is that Destroyers on like these narrow little land paths, if you have a bunch of pawns and stuff, you can literally just run at them and kill them. Oh no, we need fighters, boys. Why are we making Banshees, not fighters? What is happening right now?
I mean, there is one fighter in the air for Goopy, but it is taking its time to shoot these bombers down, and maybe one or two more would have done a little bit better job.
I think he's trying. He is trying. Did Fan eat his lab? No. Well, Fan swapped back into bots, but this is looking a little scary. I mean,
Zekris is just kind of casually still in the base of the Australian team, so...
I mean, you know, why make things complicated when you can make things simple? He killed Master Bell's lab, right? And he can run up here and probably take some mexes, just build his own little base. Dude, the Banshees are gonna come out and actually kind of fuck with the ships, do they? Never mind. One herring is gonna kill like 4 Banshees. That's a little depressing.
Yeah, I mean, one res sub just out repairs the DPS of those Banshees.
Yeah,
so LDM with his one destroyer is gonna make his way down here and help his team.
Stardom is last calm, and he's on the wrong side of the map. The problem is, I don't think they can really snipe him, right? He's underwater. They'd need torp bombers.
Right, or, you know, they'd have to win the naval fight here, but they've kind of got a forward shipyard here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little insane. This, you know what this really calls for? This looks like peak gauntlet territory. Am I right, Ural? Am I right? Just right on the high ground here?
Right up there, yep. Yes, sir. Can't produce if your lab's getting shelled by a gigabrain plasma emplacement.
Snade is going to drop an armed shipyard in the North Sea, and then they're going to try to pincer between the two, I'm guessing.
Honestly, I kind of respect it. Armed sea is better than no sea, and just to get that other angle on towards... You know, I think the only thing stopping Australia from closing out this game is the Navy here from Austin. So just getting more ships in play to be able to flank this Navy and close the game out would be a good way to go.
LDM he's got 3 Banshees and he's picking off random mexes.
Seems good.
He's kind of protecting Zekris' calm in a way. But yeah, I mean, this game is really funny because it feels like Zek is in the enemy base and Stardom's in the enemy base. But I'm pretty sure Team Australia is still way ahead, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you just look at... Team Australia just has more stuff. You don't even need to like look at it with too much context.
Does Zek go down here? I think he does, right?
It'd be
no,
impressive if he didn't.
Back into the water. That's so obnoxious.
That is a little silly, isn't it?
Snade hasn't shown. Oh wait, actually, did they see? Oh, never mind. They see the ships in the north because of that mex.
I think it's getting close to time to go to game 3 here.
Yeah, I really feel like if they had actually gone core air and shuried the Navy, they probably would have won, right? I feel like the arm air is just maybe just a little too throwy.
I mean, I think arm air better than no air, but yeah, maybe using a core constructor to make the air lab might have done them a little bit more. The Banshees did kind of help with taking out Snade's calm when it walked into the base, though, so you can't really knock it too hard. Got a Hail Mary tier 2 lab coming up here for Goopy.
I know, I'm trying to think what he's even going to build with that, right? Because, like, they have such awful E production. Like, as a team, They literally only make like 700 What are you making off that? Hounds?
I think
Oh, Austin's gonna.
a Fat Boy.
Oh my God, does Austin get it?
The calm bomb. Holy,
beautiful.
that does kind of make for a bit of an awkward situation where your only commander is Zekris on 25% HP in a puddle in the enemy main base.
Hey, we'll think about that later. Oh, but Salas are out. They did an Amphib transition. Master Bell did an Amphib transition. I think this might end up being game.
Yeah, that's like minus 2,800 metal in this tier 2 lab that's just died. I think it's resign time.
They're gonna throw up the resign vote. I mean, that's valid, right?
Oh, 100%. I'd be more surprised if they didn't resign after that, to be honest, but that was quite a cheesy, silly, goofy, shallow Straits game, and pretty much exactly what I expected to see.
Yeah, unfortunately, that map, every time I've ever seen it played, it always just devolves into just some weird thing like that. Wow. Master Bell was 113k damage, and his team in total did 158k. He did a lot of damage. He is a player, for sure.
That was definitely one of the games of Bar that I have ever seen.
Really, one of them? Okay, that's fair. I think that's a very good, very valid kind of assumption and analysis of that game, dude. And we've got Fulsome. Oh God. I will say I think Fulsome is much better now that they removed the Giga Reclaim and the dual Geos in mid. I think it's now mid just has like 3 mexes, right? Or 4 mexes? Oh, we're gonna take a little 5-minute break, it looks like.
Yeah, the mexes on that dam are 3.1, I believe. And there's also a mild speed boost on the dam, I think. So it's like quite quickly snowballs into a win, but it's not so much like an instant GG if you lose that middle position with the Geos and the Reclaim. You know, if you can see the 1 mex in the middle and you can kind of stall it and hold it, it's not like, oh, okay, well we've not only given them the mex, we've given them 3,000 Reclaim and 2 Geos or whatever it is. It's a little bit more playable.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I definitely, the one thing I will say, I think in 4s, this map is a little bit better than it is in 8s. In 8s, it feels like whoever wins mid just wins the game, and like the other lanes barely matter. Like I've seen so many games on this map where like before the top C even like really does any damage to each other, the game is just over, right? And everyone's like, well, okay, they pushed through mid. Here we go.
I mean, if you were to play 8v8 on this map, I feel like before the C players make a destroyer, there could just be a Tsar running it down mid. You know, if you detonated 2 or 3 commanders. So
yeah,
it really comes down to that. And in 4s, you know, you can sort of, it doesn't quite get that bad. It definitely is a much better small teams map than an 8v8 map. So you could see a lot of different plays here.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But we'll see.
Okay.
We are on a little bit of a break. Got some homies who are smokers.
Yeah, I mean, after a couple fast, chaotic games, it's kind of good to get a little bit of a mental reset for people too. So I think for both teams, for the sake of having a good close game 3, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, and if we look at Fulsome Dam, just the map itself, yeah, we were talking about how the middle ones are here, and so there's 5 mexes in mid, it looks like. I think there used to be 4 and then a big mex and all the Reclaim, right?
You know, I don't have a ton of games on this map until recently, so I can only really speak to the current version. But definitely that middle point, high resource, high value, and also short rust distance and easy access to most of the enemy team's economy.
Yeah. So in 4s, do you prefer if you go like, do you think it's better to go like 1 top, 1 bot, and then you just boost mid? Or do you think you go like 1 top, 1 bot, and then you have an air player?
I've seen both, and I've even seen one mid, 1 top, and 2 bot just rushing hard and trying to just leak in behind the middle before your 1 guy in the middle collapses. I think so. It's sort of a map where there's definitely different strategies that are all viable. I don't think that there's a single best way to play it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what these guys cook. I know that Team US hasn't really practiced very much at all, according to LDM. He was like, well, we should be practicing, but we're not. Uh, so it'll kind of be interesting to see how they play it versus Team Australia, because I know that Team Australia has actually like had a few practices and have like at least talked about the maps and what they want to do and how they want to play it.
I mean, I've been practicing these maps myself in custom lobbies, unranked 4v4s, and I've seen both Master Bal and Austin hop into my 4v4 practice lobbies. Less of the other guys, but I'd say that at least someone on both teams has played these maps.
Well, we've played them in 8s a lot. But I think it's kind of curious, like how we think they'll do in 4s, right? Because I think that's the real difference in terms of like how they play. Because there's so many of those maps that just play very differently. Like Whitefire, I think, is a good example of why Whitefire doesn't play quite as different. But when we were doing the Omega series, like something like Pawn Retreat, playing it in 5s and playing it in 8s, it feels like an entirely different game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, as I was saying though, that I did actually play some 4v4s on Fulsome Dam with both Master Bal and with Austin. So
sorry, yeah, I got you.
It'll be good because at least someone on both teams has played this map, and so we should have not like a massive knowledge gap between the two teams, hopefully.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We are still waiting, guys. Sorry, Master Bell and I think Stardom are on a little break. But something that I would recommend is if you guys didn't watch any of the Omega series, we cast it today on the official bar stream. So if you go there, the VOD is like 12 hours, but it was LDM, myself, LSR, and Ragna for various parts of it. And spoiler alert, Chisato won, but it was an awesome tourney, awesome series. So I would definitely recommend that you go check it out.
I was really surprised by X Factor's performance. I know he's been grinding 1v1 and he's a really good player, but I wasn't really expecting just sort of the dominant showing that he had through the whole winner's bracket.
Yeah.
Really good showing for him.
I also, what's really funny to me is on all the games that I heard about X Factor playing, aside from like the grand finals, it was really funny because like a bunch of the games were just like, oh, he's playing these like long macro games, and then like the first 5 games of him that I watched were like the Air Lab cheese or like 2 max tick opens or like all these things where it's just like, what is X Factor doing? But I mean, he did incredibly well. Oh, we are about to get started though, so hold up.
Deciding game 3 here on Fulsome Dam should be good.
Wait. We're loading in. One sec. We almost there.
This is another one of those maps where, you can feasibly see any of the labs in the game here.
Yeah, that's true. You can see pretty much everything. You know what I've seen people play where they kind of just surrender the top C and they just go straight and fib and they just don't contest it. I'm curious if we'll see anyone do that, because I think it's something that can work if you want to do like a tempo or a timing push, but yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, definitely lots of different ways that it could be played. I'm excited to see what gets cooked here.
All right, so we got, let's see, Stardom is in mid, Snade is top, Fan is bot, Master Bell is bot. Okay. It's kind of an interesting position for Fan. I guess he wants to get the early 3 maxes and then try to rotate from there.
They could be doing that 2 people push bot, and there is a ramp that's accessible for bots kind of just by the base of the dam here that you can... My lines are not drawing the way that I'm wanting them to, but
I got
you're
you.
kind of
No,
picking up what I'm putting down. There's an access for grunts or pawns to get in behind the production of the player on that dam there.
Yep. So, no, I know what you mean. It definitely is a venue. Let's see. All right, so Zekris is going to face off against Snade. All right, so they swapped. So these are basically just mirrored spawns.
Okay, that sort of makes a bit more sense.
But I mean, yeah, well, we'll see. 63 seconds. So they're gonna force start it. Maybe they're chatting.
A little
So
bit of strategizing.
do you feel like, I feel like you just boost Stardom and LDM's labs, right? Or do you think you double lab? I feel like you don't double lab, right? There's no reason to.
I've seen 2 labs, and it's like, you know, you could make an argument for like maybe you want rocket bots, but you also want some vehicles, and then having the lab in the back makes it a little bit easier to pump constructors to get all the mexes up. But I think that the boosting the lab at the front is a bit better. You just save, you know, several hundred metal in
Yeah,
the early game.
650
That just
metal.
translates into, you know, 3 more Janus or something, and then that can sort of swing that early middle engagement, and then you're getting this extra 3.1 mechs. But
So let's see. Stardom is arm bots. Snade is gonna start arm bots, and then I imagine transfer into naval. We'll see. Fan is core. Or sorry, Fan. Sorry, Snade is core bots, not arm bots. Fan is core. He hasn't dropped his lab yet. And then Master Bell is gonna go arm vehicles. Okay. And let's see, what do we got? Goopy is core bots. Goopy is gonna make grunts. I'm calling it now. That might be kind of a bold claim, but we'll see.
100
LDM.
guns already queued up for Goopy, so not too surprised there.
101, you're all 101, but yes. LDM arm vehicle. Austin, I think, is just going to boost. We'll see if he gets a lab a little bit later. And then Zekris with the hover open. Sorry, what?
I am down. Honestly, I actually quite like this because you don't get into the thing with the opening the bot lab is like, yeah, you're going to have a stronger economy, but you know, if you don't prepare for the raids from the hovercraft can get in and they can get a lot of damage. They can take out a lot of mechs, they can take out a lot of wind. So if he's able to make good value with these raiding hovercraft, it could really pay off. And the other thing he's queued up is he's queued up 2 possums. Possums can just sit by the side of the dam and just shell Stardom.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I've experienced before. It's really annoying. It was definitely one of the gameplay loops that I've had to play through, and I'll say it was a challenge. To
Wait, this rover. Oh yeah, the rover can't go up. Okay.
Janus is on hold fire. Janus getting lasered down.
Master Bell's gonna try to sneak it. No, Goopy's just gonna catch this. I don't think this rover really gets any info, does it?
Well, it sees that Goopy's here. It sees that Goopy is making construction robots and grunts, which I could have told you without sending a rover across the map, but here we are.
We're learning. No, he's getting a little bit more info, which is nice, but I don't think... Does he get more? Oh my god, those misses. All right, so...
Rover is cleaned up. We got some trading going on here. Rocket bots versus Janus. Iconic.
Oh yeah, he only has 1 Whistler. I feel like when you're fighting into this many Rockos, you almost can't go mass... Well, all right, I take that back. He might snipe... Does he snipe the comm here? Oh my god.
Damn close. Holy moly.
Dude, 300 health? All right, I take back.
I think he's just going to dive. He's just going to go for it.
Yeah, he just dives, right? And they just go. Oh, man.
Yeah, so the 1 Whistler is just to give yourself line of sight. Because the comm can kind of dip out of the line of sight of the Janus.
Right, and so you want the
Whistler just so you can see what you're shooting at. Shoot more accurately. Yeah, it looks like LDM is just going to aggressively push forward here with Austin's commander coming up. You know, worst case scenario, LDM could just comm bomb.
Zekris is bringing the hovers top. One of them's going to run into Snade, but the other one, I mean, some of these Seekers might be able to run through. Also, I just realized those are hovers, so they might be able to run up the ramp, like the bot ramp.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just hit it and it looked like they couldn't after I said it, so we'll see.
Yeah, maybe like this. Like there's maybe one path, but yeah, that's about as confident as I'm willing to say.
So Zek is in the back of Snade, but I don't think he's going to get too much damage. And then Austin and LDM are pushing mid. The thing that's scary for me is like Janus threaten comms, but they don't really threaten Rockos, right? And I feel like if Stardom reaches that critical rocket bot mass, you can't fight into it with Janus. Do you know what I mean? It's just like borderline impossible.
Yeah, I'd like to see some shell shockers here for LDM, but he's got 100 Janus queued up, so.
Okay. Yep. These mono spammers shaking my head.
I don't think just forcing pure Janet, like, we've reached the critical mass of rocket bots where even if you get your Janus shots off, it's not efficient.
Yeah. You're not going to trade well into him. Is Austin just going to try to walk and comb bomb it, maybe? Oh, Stardom is going to try to comb. Oh, wait, no. Stardom queued his comb for the self-D and then backed off. And Goopy Master Bell. Goopy is fighting into brutes. Fighting into stouts with grunts. Oh, this is cool. Dude, Stardom's con is so low. They have another shot. Oh, does he get it?
The cloak micro saved him there. He's
Dude,
able to throw off the
HP.
Janus a little bit. But it looks like LDM smells blood in the water. He's going to run forward, and a Janus rocket does connect. Takes out the lab for Stardom as well.
Oh, no. I mean, that might be game, right? And Zach did exactly what you said. He's got the hover possum coming to mid. And if they hadn't won the lane, they've definitely won it now.
Yeah, it's a little tough here.
Fan and Master Bell are 1v2ing Goopy, but I'm not sure if they're winning.
Goopy is making grunts. He's got a lot of extra metal here because, you know, Team USA has secured themselves just an actually absurd amount of metal here. So much metal from this reclaim, they don't even need to capture the mechs in the middle here.
Yeah, I mean, they all have, well, the exception of LDM, they all have tons of just metal banked. And Austin is the only, Austin and Stardom, you can tell they're the high OS A-tier players because they actually have their sliders down. All these other low skill players don't have their sliders down. It's a little disappointing in the team play department.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Goopy doing his best to hold off the stouts here from Master Bell. Looks like Fan has shifted his attention towards middle now, try to stop the bleeding in there, so back to good old-fashioned 1v1. The Goopy going to be feeling nice and comfortable with one opponent and 100 grunts queued up.
Yeah, and you know, in thinking about these hovers are actually going to be totally brutal because they're sniping mexes and LLTs here, and Snape can't really punish them because they can always just run out to sea. And I think he won't be able to actually drop a ship lab now, so Zach has the entire like sea. He has all those mexes.
It's basically impossible now for Snape to get into the water. He's also having to hold off Lost here in the middle. So that's just going to give all of these sea mexes to Zekris pretty much uncontested. So he could transition into seaplanes, he could transition just into a bunch more hovercraft, but it's really hard for Snape to find out what Zekris is planning, what he's cooking. Yeah. So it's a really awkward situation here for Team Australia. Definitely on the back foot after losing middle and losing the sea in the north.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's fighting bots into Janus is a little rough. I mean, I think if it was a ton of rocket bots, it's a little different, but thugs into Janus is not enjoyable at all.
It's a little bit ungood for sure.
And, yeah,
even playing the rocket bots against the Janus, like you can swat the Janus away, but it's kind of, you're trying to push into the Janus, it gets a lot harder.
So
to
Zach
sort of
has
take the aggressive stance.
Caimans. He just has a couple possums, I think, to snipe pork, and then he's going to push in with the Caimans. I mean, the one positive side is that Master Bell has taken more of these mexes on bottom, and it's, yeah, he at least is starting to get a little bit better income over Goopy, but I think Goopy really is just stalling for time at this point, right? I mean, LDM and Zach should both be able to end this game very soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Austin's going to be able to co-op into helping them out. And it looks like Austin's actually thrown down Tier 2 vehicle lab.
I actually don't like that. I feel like you have your foot on their throat. Why would you take it off? Right? That's like 10 stouts. Just make the 10 stouts and run into their backline. They only have 2 comms, right? And you know where one of the comms is, so I feel like stouts would just run through, but I guess with the Janus and the comm repairing them, they feel like they can fight that. And then Zach is doing work with his little Caimans. Or no, what are they called? Crocodiles, sorry. Caimans are the core ones.
Yeah, these hover tanks are actually kind of, like, they're really expensive for what they are, but you kind of get your money's worth sometimes because they're pretty maneuverable and they handle a bit better than vehicle tanks. And they have a little bit of extra range as well, which makes them really good against comms.
Yeah. Master Bell is kind of punishing Goopy on bot a bit here. So Goopy has his grunts, but he has a few brutes, and he's fighting back. Master Bell has a ton of blitz. But mid is breaking, no?
Yeah, and Snave's comm has actually gone down to those crocodiles, as I was saying, giving even more metal to Team USA here.
Yeah, and we've just got, I mean, Master Bell has Stouts on repeat, Fan has
Goopy's-
rocket bots.
Goopy's transitioned into brutes, so he's gone from the one mono spam 1v1 unit grunt to the other mono spam 1v1 unit, the brute.
I feel like he has the BP and base he needs. I think he should actually just take his comm to front, right? I mean, Master Bell has the